Like, do you remember, was the person that was kidnapped, like, were they wearing jeans? Were they wearing a suit? Were they, we could ask him some questions like that and see if anything comes to mind.
Yeah. Let's start with the line of what he was doing there, and we'll build off of that. If we feel like we've, stressed every line that we could, then we'll just wrap it.
Okay.
All right, let's figure it out. Hi, Delver.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up? Oh.
Not much.
All right. Sorry. Let me go and turn on this recording real quick just to
Oh, sure.
make sure we're doing everything formally here.
All right. I don't want to rush you guys. Like, if you've got some questions, I'll try and answer them quicker.
Mhm.
But I had like a friend text me saying that, like, I don't know. I guess there's like a family emergency or something, so I just gotta hurry it up a little bit.
You're fine.
Okay.
If at any point you need to leave, you just let me know.
All right. I'll probably be leaving soon then, but I'll answer
Okay.
like your last few questions if you got them.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll wrap this up really quickly. Just
Yeah.
for the start of the recording, this is recording number 2. The time is now the 12th of January. EST local time. We're gonna be standby. 12 on the dot. San Andreas time. It's gonna be Flop Dugan, Kid Archer, and Delver. Delver, I'm gonna remind you that you were still under Miranda.
Okay.
Do you remember what you were doing at the courthouse that day? You mentioned you saw Luis. Were you there to meet him? What?
No, I go to the courthouse a lot because I've like Sherry. I'm friends with Sherry, who's a county clerk, and I'm friends with Alex, who's a county clerk. And sometimes I just go there to like chat, or sometimes I hide under the stairs and I sell people wares. You know, like in like the main room, there's like a staircase and there's like a little area under it. I go under the staircase and I sell people cigarettes and stuff.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I have like I own a ton of trophies because everybody trades me trophies for like water and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
So you were just there kind of hanging out. You didn't have an actual main purpose of being at the courthouse that day. You just
No, I probably go there at least once a day.
Okay. Do you remember what Luis was doing?
Nah.
Do you remember anyone else that maybe you saw at the courthouse that day that you could recall?
No. I don't It's possible someone was there that day. I don't remember if anyone I wanted to talk to was actually there working or whatever.
Gotcha. I don't remember if I've asked this already. You'll have to forgive me. Do you recall how many people you saw during this kidnapping?
No, I don't remember. I wasn't like in the middle of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about voices? Do you remember how many voices you heard? Anything?
I got no idea.
Okay. And just to kind of go down the same line of questioning, clothing descriptions of the victim. You remember if they were in jeans? You remember if they were maybe wearing a suit? If they were wearing a jacket? Remember any of that?
I do not remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know what day this was.
That's okay. That's fine.
How'd you, what did you do afterwards? Did
When I
you,
left, or like, what do you mean?
yeah, like, did you drive somewhere? How'd you leave the courthouse?
I don't remember if I ran there that day or if I drove there. Sometimes I'll like run to town hall and then I run to the what's it called? You know, like the Davis train station.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big like subway guy, so usually I'll
Ooh,
run
subway
like in
guy.
the south side to the Davis train station, or I'll run to like one of the like the buildings because sometimes I have friends who like kind of hang out in different areas of the south side, so I just kind of run around. And then sometimes I'll wait for the train, and then I'll take it to like Senior Buns or something, because there's another train station there.
Did you see anybody on a bicycle?
On a bike, I mean, there's always people on bicycles.
Do you remember anybody specifically on a bicycle?
I don't think so.
Delver, I'm really confused.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused too.
Well, I'm going to tell you why I'm confused. And maybe you can try and put some reasoning into this, because I'm genuinely
Sure.
trying to like understand something. I understand that maybe this wasn't a big part of your day. You knew a kidnapping was happening. You were there for a kidnapping.
Well, I don't know if I'd say I was there for a kidnapping. I think I just saw one.
You know enough to know that one occurred. And you don't remember how many people? Clothing descriptions?
No, I see like stuff like that all the time.
Right. But we're trying to isolate this incident that you saw at the courthouse.
Yeah, I don't even I don't even know if we're talking about the same incident.
And that's fine. We could be talking about two different incidents. So the reason why I'm asking you questions is because I'm trying to figure out if this is the same incident or not. The issue that I'm running into though is, you know, you're aware of a kidnapping, but don't know anything regarding who, what, where, when, why, or how.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you basically just asked me, like, have you seen any kidnappings ever at City Hall? And I said, I think I remember one.
Yeah, and we're talking about that one. But when every form of question that has been asked to you, you don't have any recollection of it. So I'm confused.
Well, I mean, I saw a kidnapping last night, and I also have like no memory of who, what, when, or why. All I know is that one was at the car rental. Like, I don't really try to memorize kidnappings, you know?
I'm not asking
So,
you to.
How do you
Go ahead.
know it was a kidnapping?
At the car rental, like
No,
last night
at
or the
the
previous day.
courthouse. How did you know it was a kidnapping?
Well, I guess I don't know, but it just seemed like aggression, and then like someone who seemed like a victim like left with them. So my guess is it was a kidnapping, but yeah, you're right, I don't know.
What kind of aggression was it?
I think they had weapons, maybe, possibly, or maybe they were just kind of like stanced up, you know? Like I don't know.
So, did you see weapons?
Well, you know when like someone's like gonna fight, it just looked like a fight, you know?
Okay.
Usually
so
there's like something.
you remember them looking aggressive.
It just kind of vaguely resembled a kidnapping, but yeah, no, you're right. I don't know if that's true. It could have just been people arguing, but
How
you know.
close were you to this?
Thank you for the raid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Like, could you hear them?
I'm
or-
sorry. I appreciate you. Welcome everyone. Hello.
I don't remember. I might have heard screaming or something.
Do you remember anybody else there other than the kidnappers and the
I only
kidnappee?
I only remember Luis.
Where was Luis when all this was happening?
He was like somewhere in the courtyard area. Like out front. Because I remember I said hi to him.
Mm-hmm. And where were you? Do you remember?
I think I was like on like, you know, like that little weird U-turn car area that everybody pulls into, like on the right side if you're facing the front door. I think I came from that area maybe, and then I think I like said hi to him. And then I
Okay.
went in or something.
You don't remember seeing any cars?
I mean, there's always like a billion cars and like vans and all that kind of stuff.
I'll clarify the question. You don't remember any vehicles that these people could have been getting into, specifically from what you you claim that you witnessed?
I would assume they got into a car. I don't remember like what car or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I do need to get. I'm not trying to rush you guys, but I
No,
do
no,
need
no.
to get going.
You are
You're all
free to go
good.
at any time.
Okay, if you have any random questions, I guess you could just call me. But I do need to go.
Yeah, that's fine. If at any point you remember anything further from that day, or you happen to hear anything, please feel free to let us know. I'm gonna go and shut this
Sure.
recording off, and we'll get you out of here. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
We appreciate you coming down, though. Regardless, to just have a conversation, talk to us. We're just trying to get to the bottom of a lot right now, and
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
like I said, you're not in any trouble, but I do appreciate you coming down.
Oh yeah, yeah. No problem. No problem, guys. I do think you guys should call Winsong for your trash in the other room, because she can, remove that. It's like what she's been up to recently.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I'll make you the promise that I will. I gotta take care of a couple things, obviously.
Oh, well,
And
that's. I mean, that's
then
kind of between you and Winsong. I just think.
yeah. No, I'll call. We'll get you out of here, Delver, so you can get to your
Oh,
your appointment or your family. What was it again?
I don't know. Someone just texted me and they're like, can you like come
Got
like
that? Okay.
meet up or whatever? And I was like, okay.
Tell you what,
And they
I'll
said it
even
was
let you
important.
out the back here. This way, we can get you out even quicker. This way, we don't have to go all the way through the front. Let me just give you back both your, I believe your, what do I have? Your wrench and your, let me see.
Knife, I think.
Yeah,
Did you
go
take
and just
anything
face
else?
away
I
from
think it
me.
was just that. Yeah.
I'm just gonna place these on your person. Here we go. There's that, and there's that. Awesome. All right, Delver, appreciate you coming down. If you happen to remember anything,
Yeah.
feel free to give me a call. Here's my number.
Okay.
But yeah, you're free to go.
Guess I'll save
Yep.
your number.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, no problem. I guess thanks for the call or whatever.
Thank you for your time.
Sure,
Appreciate it.
yeah, sure. Yep, alright, well, nice to see you, Flop. Nice to see you, Kit. Guys, have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
You
I'm
as
just
well.
gonna
Take
climb this
care.
wall, so I'm
Okay.
gonna climb the wall.
Oh, all right. Take care.
I don't like it. Kid,
He knew.
I
He
don't.
knew.
He knew. He
knew.
100% he knew. As soon as I started realizing it, I'm like, how did you even witness a kidnapping and not know a fucking thing? So, and as soon as we dug into that, he backpedaled and his story changed 3 times. Do I think he could be involved? Yeah. Do we have any charges to hold him on it?
No.
No. it's.
I mean, I know this is going to the docket, but I'm not gonna lie. It definitely feels like Murphy Braun was kidnapped.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I could almost guarantee you he was probably kidnapped. Just based on the series of calls we got from dispatch and the series of events that they came through, I could tell you for certain, based on that 911 call, that somebody was kidnapped, and then having an injured party shot in the head left on a scene with a hot gun leading back to an investigation from probably close to a month ago between myself, Maple, and Slacks.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
So I told you that the Luis questioning was a little bit of a bust, and the fact that he changed his story. Do we get him? And when I was questioning him, I wasn't sure. So I wasn't sure how far I should take the questioning, right? Like, because I was worried, like, about leading and everything. But I wonder if we get him in here and we just say, look, when I talked to you on the phone, you told me that you were going to see Murphy Braun. You thought it might be Murphy Braun that's kidnapped. Then when you came in here, you completely changed your story. What's going on? Do we try to get clarification on that?
Do you think they're around right now?
He was. I think it would be worth getting clarification because I can't use any of that in court. He is around.
Here's the okay. Here's the double-edged blade on this. What are the odds that Delver is currently on the phone with him right now?
Well, we need to call him now then and get him in here.
Yeah.
Hi, Luis. How are you? Hey, I'm sorry to ask. I know I've asked you to come into MRPD before.
What does
Wait,
a shot in the head matter? An RP could a
what
local or
plot?
anyone do that? No.
I didn't
The
see
way
any-
the
wait.
way that we treat
Were you
injury
pointing
RP
out
is that
you
we
hit-
can't force injury RP on people. Murphy
Wait, are you still
decided
there? Oh, yeah.
that the GSW was to the head.
Well, that's I didn't see those.
You
but
can't force
it's
injury
okay.
RP on somebody.
Would you be able to come in one more time?
Like theoretically,
I'm here with the
I couldn't
flop,
cut
and we
Kit's
just
head
want to
off
ask you a couple more
her
questions
body and kill
about
her.
what happened.
That's still ultimately up to the player behind Kit to decide
Would you
that.
mind?
So the way that we have to treat it
It
is
shouldn't
okay,
take
he was shot in
long.
the head. We treat it as such and we proceed in RP.
I'd really appreciate it. We just Flop's here. He's I think he wants to talk to you.
Damn ads. So that's a crazy fucking dice you got.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. He said he just got a new job, so he's gonna talk to his boss and call me back.
Okay.
I think he's gonna come in though.
Oh god, Celio got kidnapped? Fuck.
Hold on. I'm just gonna call you really quickly because my phone's kind of freaking out.
No, you're good. I'm gonna hang it up.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I think we just need to get him in here and just ask some clarifying questions. Because I would like to get the information regarding Murphy on record.
It sucks because the possession alone is enough for the docket, but it just something does not feel right. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The fact that nobody witnessed this.
Well, no, multiple people witnessed this, but
that's what I'm saying.
Everybody, nobody remembers anything.
Yeah, apparently everybody just got hit with the Men in Black fucking flashlight. I don't know what's going on. It's I don't want to use the word annoying, but it is definitely from an investigator standpoint frustrating to know that we have all these witnesses and not a single person can recall a single thing that happened during that whole thing. A 911 came through. People witnessed it.
I think we gotta, if we can get Luis in here, I think we gotta we gotta really tug on his heartstrings. And the fact is, like, I don't know how we can say it without, basically stating, if you don't tell us the truth, this man may go to prison forever. But we got to figure out a way to...
The problem... So, I agree with you.
We got to figure out a way to make him understand that, like, this is a big deal. This isn't just a kidnap. I mean, yeah, a kidnapping is a big deal, but there's a lot on the line here.
We can't play the card on the fact that we're talking about a judge. That's the important thing.
No,
We need
no.
somebody to admit that they witnessed Murphy Braun get kidnapped. That would be the only way we would have a defense for Murphy in any way, shape, or form.
And he said it. He said on the phone, he said, I think it was Murphy Braun.
Mhm.
He was going there to meet Murphy Braun. I guess Luis had like a bad leg or something. This is what Luis told me over the phone. That Luis, he hurt his leg. He was worried about walking up the steps, so Murphy suggested, "How about I meet you in front of the courthouse?" Luis then went there to meet him to talk about quote law stuff, and then he saw two people getting kidnapped, a clown and a man who he thought was Murphy Braun. And then 30 minutes later, we find Murphy Braun with a gunshot to his head and a PD Glock on his person.
Truth be told, regardless of what Luis states on the record, Luis's statement in the incident report would help. God, I don't.
It would create doubt.
I mean,
And it would create doubt, and then it would be up for the judges. I mean, I just want to be able to present to the judges as much as we can, from both angles. Yeah, what we know, he had a PD Glock on his person. He was on scene of a 31 Bravo. He had a gunshot wound to his head. That's what we know. Know that there was a Seminole leaving the area as well.
Yep.
What else do we know? There was a kidnapping that happened 30 minutes before. We don't know if it was related. We have multiple witnesses for this kidnapping, and nobody can remember anything.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, that is accurate. Luckily, I say luckily, regardless of, I guess, however this gets proposed to the docket, the only upside that we have is that the 2 charges that he would be receiving are based on what was on his person for being on scene of a shots fired. I honestly sort of already helping build the case essentially for Braun as to if the judges feel that would be enough information to rule it. I don't think we would have enough to prove that was the case. It is definitely fishy that he's in possession of a gun that was involved in a murder almost a month ago. I don't think he would be sitting on that. It doesn't make sense to me. But hey, it's not up for me to like instill that doubt. He has it on his person. It's up for him to prove why he has it on his person. He's not being charged with the murder. That's on Slack's word, not mine. And I don't know. I don't know, Kit. This whole case just feels wrong. Something is just not right, and it bothers me. But at the same time, due diligence tells us that this is up for the judges at this point. Unfortunately. And of course, Oliver's not around, so there's really not much that we can do about sitting down. And I want to talk to Oliver about how he feels about this.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting, right? Because I never really felt like I would be trying to prove that somebody didn't do a crime.
What was your question? Sorry.
I said it's kind of interesting because I never really felt like I would be trying to prove that somebody didn't do a crime.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, and this is what I'm going to explain to Oliver. The burden, I feel like we need to get every side of this on paper. I'm not out here. I don't want to charge Ron, but it doesn't matter because the possession alone is everything for him to prove his innocence. At the same time, though,
it's so hard because he doesn't remember anything either.
Yeah.
It would be one thing, like, if he had any memory, any vague memory of what happened that night, but it's blank. Did you watch the or did you listen to the recording, by the way?
Never had a chance to. I'm gonna do that probably after this. I'm actually gonna take a quick second and just grab some coffee over in the break room, and I'll be right back down.
Yeah.
If he calls back, great. Otherwise, I'll be back down in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Oof, man. I don't know why talking hurts right now though. Like my throat feels sore. Building a case for someone in their favor is a lawyer's job, not a cop's. Drunken, you're doing a lot of talking for somebody who is not behind the roleplay. I'm gonna just be keeping a buck with you. Number one, it is a cop's job to get every side of the story on record. Number two, it is a government employee that is currently being investigated. By due diligence alone, we have to get everything on record, on recording. Number three, he has a gun that comes back to a murder from over a month ago where his name was not brought up. That is already enough doubt in itself. Number four, there is a 911 call stating that potentially maybe Murphy Braun was kidnapped based on someone's exact point. So now the officers need to, in good faith belief, have to investigate if Murphy is innocent. Your stance on, well, you know, it could have been a local, it could have been this, it could have been that. This is the job of the role play, and it is phenomenal role play. This is great. Instilling doubt is fun. This is good. This is called slow burn RP. Everybody wants instant gratification. This is how things go. This is a normal investigation. This is how a normal case would go. Building the case for Braun. I did. You're absolutely right. Who will argue the plaintiff arguments in court? That Braun's going to have a lawyer. Braun's going to need a lawyer, I should say. Drunken, I'm going to keep it a bug with you. I have no problem with you chilling, but nothing grinds my gears more than trying to explain and get people to understand the cop side of the role play. While it doesn't matter what I say or what you're seeing on screen, you're going to find a reason to dig it down this deep hole that doesn't need to happen. You know what I mean? You could just sit back, relax, and watch it happen. That's all there is to it. This is such good RP. This is phenomenal RP. I don't get it. I don't understand. It is just, yeah. That's literally what we're doing. I don't know. There's a lot of factors to question. Is there a day for the court case? No, it's not on the docket yet. I'm doing my best to try and explain this. I like to keep things interesting and entertaining. But there's a lot of doubt and a lot of question because unfortunately, yes, obviously there is an actual answer to what happened on scene, but the cops actually have information. Regardless of if we build the case for Braun or not, we have to get statements on record, and everybody's statements in the report. It's called due diligence. So even if we were to, as you state, build the case for Braun, that's still up to a judge to decide. You know what else is up to decide? Is that Murphy Braun, the two charges he's receiving is possession of a firearm and criminal use for the shots fired on scene. The two things we can prove is that he had a gun on his person and that he shot. regardless of if we even built the case for Braun, it's up to a judge to decide that if that's enough evidence, even charge him with these things. The problem is that the burden of proof falls on the defense, aka Murphy Braun, to prove why he had the gun. Whether he remembers it or not, Murphy still needs to prove why he had the gun. And if he can't explain that, he's going to be charged with it regardless of what the cops actually get out of whoever the hell we're about to interrogate. So hopefully that ties everything in. I'm really doing my best. I have no problem educating. I got no problem helping out. I have no problem getting people to understand who may be new to cop RP. But it really does like hit a thorn when you explain your steps, and no matter what, people still have a problem with it. This is where I say, let the role players role play. I'm doing my best to make this interesting and entertaining for everybody. What's up, Shark? How you doing? Where did Kit go? I saw her on the phone before. Sorry, Chris. I need another 3-hour explanation with a few MS Paint drunks to go with it. Dog, at this point, I got nothing. What's up, Janie? Thank you for the 16 months on the tier 2. Thank you. Bunch of hearts. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. No, I mean, listen, I have no problem answering questions. I really do enjoy this, but what I don't want to use the word bothers me, but something that grinds my gears is when every single person, every single party in this investigation is enjoying the role play. Murphy's enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Kit's enjoying it. Cornwood's enjoying it. Andrews is enjoying it. I guarantee you XQC and all the other parties that are involved are going to enjoy it when this all eventually comes in line. Everyone's enjoying this at its full capacity. And then there's always somebody, or unfortunately what happened when the day of was a lot of people came in and they were like, Delta rights. Yep. You got him. You got Murphy. Throw him in jail. That's it. And then I had to explain to everybody what the ICU was and that we can't throw a lifeless corpse in prison. So I don't know. I'm just trying to keep the peace. Oh, I hear a door. I don't see a door. Kid! Oh, hello?
What? I heard from Luis. He said he's not going to be able to come in. He has to go do a job up in Pluto. I'll see if he's around tomorrow. I briefly spoke with him on the phone. He was like, he asked, he's like, what's up? Like, it's a lot of questioning. And I just said, I just wanted to ask some clarifying questions. And he said that when he had originally spoken to me on the phone, he was he'd gotten injured a lot that day and was under many influences, so he doesn't even really remember what he said.
Yeah. I would almost guarantee you the reason why that came up is because he probably just got off the phone with Delver. I guarantee you they both know what happened, and at this point, I guarantee you neither of them want to get involved. It really makes no difference to me. I really want to talk to him, but if all we have at this point is you know what?
You know what's interesting though Delver said that he recognized Luis and he said hello to him. Luis only ever mentioned that there was a clown there. He never mentioned Delver.
Did he mention a clown was involved in the actual kidnapping, or did he mention that?
He said a clown was kidnapped. And how we got to Delver was because Jaeger, and I wish I had gotten a picture of this. I'm so mad I didn't take a picture of it. But Jaeger had twatted out around the same time that all this had happened. Jaeger twatted out, who took my effing clown? And so then I started looking for a clown related to Jaeger. And then when I talked to Sooty on the phone yesterday, I said, "Hey, Sooty, do you know if any clowns had been kidnapped lately?" And she said, "I don't know about kidnapped, but Delver was missing for a couple days and Jaeger found him." Then when we asked Jaeger about it, Jaeger said he never found his clown. They're all lying. They're all fucking lying, Flop.
Jaeger was our primary suspect in Carmine's brother's murder. And the fact that Jaeger was looking for his effing clown, and they're all fucking lying. They're all covering it up, and there's no way to prove it.
One thing that Luis said during questioning is he said he called it in because he didn't want to be a suspect for the kidnapping.
Who said that?
Luis. It makes me think that there were more people there. But we don't know who those people are. More witnesses. If there's nobody around, why would you worry about it, you know?
Do you think he could have been an accessory in any way?
At this point, I don't know. At this point, I have no clue, Flop. Because the original conversation I had with Luis is that there were two people that were kidnapped, a clown and a man. And now I think we've located that clown, and that clown is saying that he was just there, witnessed it from afar. Luis also mentioned something about a bicycle. Like somebody was on a bicycle. That's why I brought that up.
No, that's fine.
I don't know, maybe they're all in it. Like if Delver is related to Jaeger in some way. And again, this is all speculation. All of it could have nothing to do with any of it, and I could just be, okay, have you ever seen that show Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Bits and pieces of it.
There's like this one meme where like one of the characters is like standing in front of what's it called, the board, like an investigation board with all like the red strings like over like the photographs, and he's like holding a cigarette and he looks insane. That's how I feel right now. I feel just like crazy, and I'm trying to string together all these different things, and they sort of are lining up, but they also aren't. That's how I feel right now.
How do I say this? I feel like, how do I I'm trying to think a good way to explain this. A bullseye, right? Like a round target. I feel like everybody is on that outer circle from just the bullseye that connects everything else together. There is like a missing middle piece to this spider web, and I feel like everybody is on the outskirts of it, and no one is willing to put their hand in. We need what something does not make sense. Everyone's stories to some degree line up with the kidnapping, but no one is able to actually stick their hand in the bowl. And I can't, there's no way to get anyone to do it. And unfortunately, there's nothing incriminating about not doing it. If people do not recall for any reason or have any reason to not show up, I mean, at this point, I feel like we've exasperated our abilities. That even I'm gonna be honest. I don't think what's his face is gonna come down. If he's claiming he's now on drugs and stuff, obviously he's looking for any other excuse to not come down, and is gonna find any reason for his story to not hold up in court. At this point, I think this is up to the judges to just decide. I think we push what we have. I'm gonna tell Oliver that I feel like we've expressed our side of concern based on the evidence in the situation that occurred, based on what we have, that we believe that there might have been some malice, but there's no way to prove that. That the only thing that we can prove for certainty is the possession of the gun, and that we had shots fired on scene, and Braun was GSR positive.
He's going to be found guilty.
He's 100%. And you know what? I hate to say it, but I don't think there is a single shred in my mind that I'm not going to feel guilty after this case. I know we've done everything that we can up to this point, but the fact that no one wants to talk really, it leaves me with nothing but pure like suspicion on everybody that's been questioned. And it sucks.
Did we ever subpoena Murphy's phone records?
Let me see if Murphy's around. I got to get it on recording. This way I could just write up briefly that, hey, Murphy Braun's consented to his records being...
Because Luis said that he spoke to Murphy on the phone.
Mm-hmm. Let me see if Murphy's around. I don't think he's around. What's the tie-in to the phone call? Because I would agree with you. Do you think that would lead us somewhere? I mean, I wanna get the subpoena too. Unfortunately,
it would potentially place Murphy at the courthouse when the kidnapping occurred, because Luis said that he was going to meet Murphy Braun at the courthouse, and when he got there, the kidnapping was happening.
do you know what doesn't make sense to me? How was he going to the courthouse to meet Murphy, but is unsure, or not even unsure, but in question in any way, shape, or form about who the victim was. I feel like
Exactly.
you would either know that that was Murphy being kidnapped, or it's not Murphy being kidnapped. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if you're gonna set up a meeting,
And then the person that you go to meet is not there. That's why we need to talk to him more. We need to try to talk to him tomorrow.
what's this person's full name?
Luis Fernandez.
How do you spell that?
Fern. I need to look it up.
How do you spell the first name?
Luis. State ID. Oh wait, hold on. I just had it. 2051.
What would Luis benefit from to hinder the investigation?
He was somehow involved. Or doesn't want a target on his back. Here's the thing, right? If Luis could see them, they could probably see him.
You want to know where my mind's going right now?
Hmm.
A subpoena on Fernandez's phone for that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Assuming coincidence that Braun's being kidnapped and he now doesn't know what Braun looks like. Sounds to me like he was involved.
Do you think that we could have probable cause to also subpoena Delver?
Delver would be harder, I think.
Yeah.
The thing, so what sets Delver apart from Luis is that Delver was there on scene via a 911 call. However, we don't have a name and we just have a clown. However, the only connection we have is that Luis was on scene and Delver was also there. So we can make the assumption it was Delver, which I don't think is enough basis for a subpoena. Luis is easy because he stated that he was on the phone with Braun. So the only articulation we would need on Luis is that we want to establish a timeline of Luis's phone records to line up with the timeline of events that occurred via the 911 call and the time that Braun was found. We could get a 24-hour on him. And at that point,
I mean, we don't even need a 24-hour. We judges love it when you are very specific with subpoenas. We could get like a 4-hour window.
Do we know the 4-hour window?
Yeah, we do. I would say we could ask for it 2 hours before the incident and 2 hours after.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. God.
I think it would be very likely to get that subpoena to be approved if we really narrow the scope of that window.
I think we'd get it. And
we do 15-day delay notice or 14 days delay notice on it. I don't think we need more than that for this investigation.
Truth be told, we just need Luis on record or on statement stating that he was on the phone with Braun. Actually, Luis was the one that called 911 too, right?
Yeah. Which I have a picture of that 911 in the report.
We don't even need to question Luis. Honestly, we could, I mean, it's going to sound shitty, but all we need is Luis stating that he had called Murphy Braun that day.
I just don't remember if I had questioned him or if it was like spontaneous utterance. I mean, as far as holding up in court, you know, basically I called him, you know, to try to find out like what was going on, to get a description of the suspects, because Slacks and I were on the way to the courthouse.
I'm gonna
We
call
ran
Slacks
in.
real quick. I'm gonna see if he can be here for this, because I think this is important. Nope, he hung up. Phenomenal. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I called him and he was, you know, I was like, what happened? And he's like, well, I was, you know, on the way to meet Murphy Braun. He said that he was on the phone with Braun. And when he got there,
Oh my God.
what?
Braun already gave me consent for his phone records for that day. If I can get the verbal consent from him for that number, and we can just backlog check the phone records.
I also have, do you have his number? Because I actually have his number.
The number that we need to subpoena?
Yeah, I have the number.
Okay. Well, here's some food for thought. If we can subpoena and just get Braun's records, and we can see in his records that he was on the phone with Luis, we might be able to just expand the scope off of Braun's subpoena. We may not even have to talk to Luis. I don't know why that just clicked with me. I mean, respectfully, if Luis is going to hesitate on coming down here for 5 minutes, then I can hesitate on 5 minutes too. And if I have to take the long route to get to his subpoena,
so
all we have to state is that
then
Luis called 911, and in Braun's subpoena that he consented to, there's a phone call between Luis and Braun. We want to rule out or figure out if there was any other communication between Luis and Braun prior.
Yeah.
Or other parties.
Well, I definitely think that if we can see on Braun's phone records that he spoke to Luis, that would further solidify the PC to then subpoena Luis's records and see not only like obviously he spoke with Braun, but who else he spoke to. And if he spoke to Delver, that is pretty fucking damning. In my opinion.
I need to speak to the DOJ and speak to Slacks and the captains and see about this, because it's still uncertain as to how we're acquiring phone records. The problem is that we have a deadline for getting this on the docket. We can't wait for the DOJ to catch up. This is how we're going to get this information at this point. I think that we've exhausted the speak face-to-face with people. We have to go off the consent of Braun's subpoena. And whatever we get out of his subpoena is what we have to work with. And whatever we work with based on Braun's subpoena is all we have. But if the DOJ can't, you know, give us those records, then
did Murphy Braun text you his old number? Like, yes. Did he give it? Is it ending in 7076?
Bear with me. Where's Braun? Give me a second. You know, I just realized I asked Braun for his number. His new number. And it never occurred to me that I actually have his old number in my phone. Yes, it ends in 7076.
Okay, yeah, that's the number we need to subpoena.
Okay. Okay. I gotta tell Slacks that we need to speak with Oliver and have a sit down with the lawyer. We need to have a sit down with the lawyer. And I think I need to... I think we need to just kind of plead the case to Slacks that this goes deeper than we realize. But I know that Slacks was under the pretense that we have this on the docket within a week. So I need to...
I think Slacks would be okay with however we want to go about this. I mean, he was very happy to hear that I had a lead on the clown. I think he understands like the gravity of this. I mean, this is scary. This is scary for us, Flop, cuz think about it. If somebody did plant that gun on Murphy and Murphy gets charged with it, who's to say that they're not going to start planting guns on us, on other people? How would we even prove that, like, you know?
This is beyond precedent setting. I will agree with you on that. There's a lot on the line for this case. I really want to pull strings on this as far as we could fucking go and look like an idiot doing it, if it means that we're able to get something more definitive.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's going to be determined by the judge. But I say that if something isn't feeling right about it, and I don't think it's feeling right with you, and it's definitely not feeling right with me, we got to just continue to try to exhaust every option so that we can present everything that we know to that judge and they can make the call. At least if we do that, even if he does get found guilty, we can, you know, at least stand there and know that we did everything that we possibly could. And who knows? Maybe he is fucking guilty, but it's our job to figure it out.
I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not out here looking to find the definitive push. The only thing we have is the possession. Everything that we gather from how we got to this point is going to be up for a judge to decide if it's enough. And I think I'll be honest with you. Evidence beyond a reasonable doubt, right?
Exactly.
Beyond a reasonable doubt.
I mean, there's definitely doubt for me. The fact alone that he was shot in the head.
I think anyone being shot in the head and a vehicle seen fleeing right after, based on dispatch alone, is already a lead into question. Even with that out of the picture, the fact that somebody has already stated that they think Murphy Braun was kidnapped.
How do we get that into evidence? Because it was on the phone when he said it.
Hedos, I've explained to you 3 times. I will explain it to you again. Bear with me. What was your question? I'm sorry.
How do we get that into evidence, though? It was on the phone when he said it.
I would ask Slacks on that. To be honest